Good evening, folks. Hope you're all doing really well. Little bit of a different video today. I'm a huge Leeds United fan, as most people will know. I'm going to give my opinion on the best Leeds United players that people should be aiming to get in their squads if they're targeting the under 23 division or Challenger. Now, in my biased opinion, Leeds United should dominate the Championship next season. They should win the league comfortably. So that is the number one reason why I think Leeds United players will be good holds next season. Secondly, they play in the Championship, which is the most games that any league in Europe play. So they're going to play 46 games. Daniel Farke, the current manager, although there's a lot of expectation on his head, so he's going to be under immense pressure, he rarely rotates the side. If the side is winning, generally, more often than not, he will keep the same starting 11 week in, week out. He's done it at Norwich, where he's been promoted twice out of the Championship, and he done it at Leeds last season. So utility-wise, Leeds United players are going to have a lots and lots of utility next season, more than most. Now, I'm not going to claim to be in the know and know Daniel Farke starting 11 or know who they're going to be signing next. All I know is I've supported Leeds United since 1978. I'm a huge fan. I've got friends who live in the area. Some work at the club in a small capacity, and Leeds United are my passion. So I think I've got a good knowledge to give my opinion, especially on this subject. However, I don't always get it right. I'll hold my hands up. Last season, Jayden Anthony was a player that I thought was going to excel at Leeds. However, due to Somerville's exceptional form, he didn't have a look in and rarely played. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to go through what I believe will be the starting 11 come what the beginning of the season. And I'm going to give my honest opinion on the player and also the opinion on how the player performs under the scoring matrix of So Rare. Now, just as a heads up, I genuinely believe that Farker might change the formation this season. I think he could play 3-5-2 with two wing backs. They're currently on tour in Germany, so I'm going to keep an eye out on what the formations he's playing at this moment in time. And I am just going on the presumption today that that is going to be the formation he starts with at the beginning of the season. Now, first up is the goalkeeper, Meslier. I'm not a great fan of him, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't understand the hype. He's a good shot stopper, but in terms of his distribution coming for crosses, he's very poor. However, because they're one of the most dominant sides in the Championship, you can see his scores last season are very, very good. Lots of dark green scores, but a significant development. He's now lost his under 23 status. So he would be for the Challenger if he was the sort of keeper you would be looking for. In my opinion, in the Challenger League, there are far better goalkeepers generally than Meslier. But if you're looking for a defensive stack where you've got a goalkeeper and the same defender from the same team, he could be your option because I will go on to the centre halves because especially at home, I can't see Leeds conceding a lot of goals next season. They were unbeaten at home, other than one game I believe they lost at home to Blackburn, which was one of the last few games. I think they're going to still be as dominant this season at home, where they will concede very few goals. So going on to the three centre halves, Rodon for me is the pick of the three. They've signed him permanently from Tottenham. Now he was on loan at Leeds last season. You can see his scores last season are exceptional. Loads and loads of dark green scores. And just to let you know or make you aware, none of these were goals or assists because he never contributed to that side of his game. So all these are his 10-point clean sheet bonuses and all his actions in the game, tackles, interceptions, etc. I believe his floor price is around £15. I'm only targeting um, out of season cards. There's not going to be new cards for him, obviously, because Leeds are not a licensed club. So if you're looking for a limited or rare challenger defender, he is going to be up there with the very, very best of them, in my opinion. Second selection, the second centre half, will be Pascal Struijk, who got injured in January and didn't play at all then. But you can see from his scores last season, very impressive again. Of course, this is going to be down to Leeds being so dominant, because even though they didn't get promoted last season, they still achieved 90 points, which was a sensational tally, and they were really dominant in that division with Leicester and Ipswich and obviously Southampton. But as you can see, this guy scores a very, very good. However, he is more of a goal threat than Rodon, from set pieces especially. So if you're looking for a defender who can get the odd goal and assist, then he might be one you would look at more than Rodon. And he is about £5-6 cheaper. He is another one who's lost his under 23 eligibility this season as well. Now, the third centre half, which is a very controversial one because he left Leeds in the shit last season when he didn't hang about. However, it appears that no one wants him or are prepared to pay the fee. So he's coming back to Leeds. And in terms of quality, he is arguably the best centre half that we've got. This guy's played for Austria in the European Championships that have just gone. Now, Championship football is a big come down from that. So he should excel at this level, in my opinion. And for his price of under £2, then I think he could be an absolute bargain. There was a press release today saying that he's up for the fight now for Leeds United. He wants to get Leeds back in promotion and all of this nonsense. Um, so, like I said, if that is the case and he stays, he is potentially one of the best potential buys for a defender in that division, in my opinion. He's too good to be playing in the Championship. Hence, he went out on loan last season, but he can't get another club to sign him, whatever. So he's coming back to Leeds, and he's going to play, it appears, a year in the Championship. So he is definitely, whether you just sign him as a backup and wait to see what the situation is for that price, he is an absolute steal. The right wing back is Jaden Bogle. There's no other right back at the club as we stand right now, other than youth players. So he starts. He's just signed from Sheffield United for about 5 point something million. He played for Sheffield United last season, as you will see his scores in the Premier League, which is obviously a lot harder than the Championship. He's had experience of getting promotion with Sheffield United, which is showing there on screen his scores. He, for me, could be a pivotal player for Leeds United in the right wing back role. He's very good going forward. He's very good defensively as well because he's quick. And because Leeds are a far better team than Sheffield United, I think this guy's scores are going to get better and better. He's got 1 year left of under 23 as well. And I think his floor price is just over £3, which for me potentially could be an absolute bargain. A left wing back, as we stand today, is Junior Firpo. I don't particularly rate this player personally. We signed him from Barcelona when Bielsa was our manager, but he's done absolutely nothing. Last season, he came back into the squad mainly after Christmas, and to be fair to him, he done okay. He's much better going forward than he is defending. And as you can see, he can put in some really good dark green scores. He's got about 4 or 5 assists to his name in those scores, so that's why they're inflated. Like I've already said, he is much better going forward than he is defending. So he's another one, if he stays, which I think he's going to now. There is links to him going to Betis, but I just can't see that happening. He will provide a few assists throughout the season. I've got no doubt about that. Unfortunately, Ampadu, there's no cards on So Rare for him. If if there were, I'd be buying at least one of them. He is Leeds captain, and he's going to play a pivotal part next season in the defensive midfield role. He was employed centre back mainly after Struijk got injured, which, even though they were keeping clean sheets, it hampered the side, in my opinion. So he needs to get into the holding midfield role. That's his best position. The other holding midfielder we've got is Ilya Gruev, who was signed last year and took a while for him to get into the team. But when Ampadu went back into centre half, he started coming into the side. His scores are bang average. He's more of a sideward, backward passer of the ball. He did score a goal. He's the only midfielder who managed a goal for Leeds last season, which needs to be improved on. But, for £3, if you want a sort of backup defensive midfielder, then Gruev could be your man. He also has lost his under 23 eligibility. So, in my opinion, there's far better options in the Challenger League than Gruev. The next midfielder is Joe Rothwell. This is an interesting one because Leeds have sold Glenn Kamara to Rennes to France, or in France, for around €10 million. They've got Rothwell in on loan from Bournemouth. Now, he played for Blackburn in the Championship a few seasons ago. He's got a goal threat in his game, which is unlike any other midfielder that we've got on our books. So I'm of the opinion that this guy is going to play a pivotal part in Leeds United's promotion bid, and I genuinely believe that he will start most of the games. He's more advanced than Ampadu. He's more of an 8 than a 6. So he's going to be the one linking, possibly getting assists, chipping in with the odd goal. So it'll be interesting to see his scores throughout the season in terms of the scoring matrix. For £1.34, I think, even if it's for a backup, I think it's good value for money, because like I said, I think those scores are going to improve greatly this season while he's playing in the Championship, and not just playing in the Championship, one of the dominant sides in that Championship. Ex-player on the list is Leeds' main man, what he was last season, Somerville. Absolutely outstanding. You can see his scores speak for themselves. So many dark green scores. However, there is a risk because there is still talk and rumours that he could be going to clubs in the Premiership, not either, abroad. However, the 49ers, who own Leeds United, are very shrewd businessmen. They will want top dollar, and I believe they're asking for £40 million, and I don't think a club is going to pay that, in my personal opinion. I don't think he's worth that. He's had one good season in the Championship last year where he was on fire. I think there's lots of players like him, pacey, tricky wingers who can score. You can pick up for a lot less than what Leeds want for Somerville. So, would not surprise me at all if Somerville is a Leeds United player until at least January next season. Next January. However, that is still subject to change, depending what sort of bids come in and who Leeds can get in as a replacement. For £28, if he was to stay at Leeds and perform like he did last season, then Challenger League and under 23, because he's still under 23 eligible for another 2 seasons. I don't think there's many better attacking players on the platform in terms of how he scores on the scoring matrix. The next guy, Nonto, this guy I don't think will be at Leeds United, but he's very, very good pals with Somerville. So if he does go, I think it's going to upset Somerville. But this guy, because Leeds are not as asking for as much money for him that they are with Somerville. There's rumours today that he could be going to Everton again or Villa. I think they want in the region of 20 to 25 million quid. I've been disappointed with him, to be perfectly honest, because he's got so much talent. In the Championship, he should have torn it up, in my opinion. He showed glimpses, but as you can see, he was in and out of the team. Dan James started ahead of him most of the time. And then towards the back end of last season, Dan James got injured and he come in and he done reasonably well, but not as good as he should. He's got 5 more years or 4 more years of under 23 eligibility. His current price is 18 quid. However, if he does go to Everton or Villa, I don't think he's going to be a regular starter. So if you're thinking about this gentleman, then bit of caution with him. Now, guy just spoke about Dan James. I don't rate this player whatsoever. However, and I'm basing this on, I've watched this kid because I live in Wales. I used to watch him when he used to be at Swansea. He's a headless chicken. However, last season you can't knock him for what he done at Leeds. He chipped in with goals, assists. He worked his bollocks off. Um, very, very unlucky to lose his place to Nonto towards the back end of last season, in my opinion. And his scores, as you can see, very, very good. Loads of dark green scores because he will get goals and assists. For under 7 quid, for me, he's going to be a regular starter for Leeds. Like I said, I don't think Nonto is going to be there. And even if he is, I think Dan James would be very harshly treated if he doesn't start ahead of him based on last season's form. So for 7 quid, I think is an absolute bargain because, like I said, he's going to provide goals and assists like he did last season, in my opinion. Next on the list, Jorginho Rutter, Leeds record signing of all time. They paid reportedly 35 million for from Hoffenheim when they were in the Premier League. He's the most frustrating player I think I've ever seen in my life. 1 minute he looks like a world beater, the next minute he looks like a park player. He couldn't score in a brothel. I think his goal tally last season was 7 goals in 45 games. However, the amount of big chances he creates for others is sensational. I think he got 15 assists last season, and you can see on his score chart there are so many dark green scores. And for me, this season, they've got him down on here as a cam. He's not a cam, in my opinion. He's not a 10. He's more effective, in my opinion, coming off either the right or left wing. So it'll be interesting to see where he does start, but he's a 100% definite starter for Leeds United next season, 100%. He's still under 23 eligible for another 2 years till 2026 for 15 quid. I think it's cheaper than I'm sure I've seen some for 14 quid listed. Given the or given the reasons I've already stated about Leeds United, dominant side, etc., I think this guy could set the division alight next season. If he has got any sort of shooting boots on next season and he starts scoring more as well as creating, then this guy at this level, he should be tearing it up. So I'm expecting big, big scores and he's captain material in terms of your SO5 teams. I'm going to try and buy a few of him because I want him for my under 23 side and also the challenger side. So I hope I'm proven right in my confidence in him. I've thrown this guy in, another snake who left Leeds United last season because he didn't want to play in the Championship, went to Union Berlin, done absolutely fuck all. No one wants to buy him, so he's had to come back to Leeds because he's contracted. Now, you can see from previous seasons when he was at Philadelphia and Red Bull Salzburg, he's capable of producing very, very good scores. The jury's still out with him. He's arguably one of the worst players I've ever seen in a Leeds United shirt personally. He's too lightweight. He gets pushed off the ball too much. Unless he's beefed himself up, it's going to be hard in the Championship because it's physically fucking draining and he's just going to be bullied. However, if he does start and he's beefed himself up, he's got enough talent from previous, I'm going off previous clips that I've seen of him and reports. He is too good to be playing in the Championship. If his head is right and the supporters forgive him and they get, after the first few games, they start getting back on his side and he starts doing the business, this guy for 2 quid could be an absolute steal because he could tear Championship sides' defences to pieces. Now, I've bought one or two cards just as a backup because I want to see how Farke integrates him back in the side. He said he's willing to fight for his place. Farke's forgiven him, apparently. He's willing to put him back into the side and see how he goes. However, I'm not 100% sure because of his how physically weak he is, whether he's going to cut the mustard in the championship, but time will tell. But I have bought a few cards for £2. It's a risk well worth taking. Now, the number 9 for Leeds this season, unless they go out and sign somebody, which I hope they would, but I'm not sure that they're going to do that now. I'm of the belief Matteo Joseph will be the main man. He's only a young man saying that. He's only 20 years of age, under 23 eligible up until 2028, so another 4 seasons. However, last season, Leeds relied so much on Patrick Bamford, who's just taking the piss now. He should have been sold about 4 seasons ago. The reason he's still at Leeds is we can't sell him because he's on so much money because they gave him a ridiculous contract after he had that purple patch when they were in the Premier League and he scored in every game. Almost, I think he's on 60, 70 grand a week or something fucking ridiculous. So this boy, far better finisher than Bamford, in my opinion. More raw than Bamford, obviously, because he lacks experience. However, like I said, it's my belief that this guy is going to be, unless they sign somebody, he's going to be Leeds United's main man up front as a poacher. He's still expensive in terms of the current doubts around him, in terms of Bamford might start ahead of him, etc. 12.45. I've bought him, and my hope is that I'm proven right that he will start. And then, not just that, he gets in the side and starts banging him in from day one. Because as long as he does that, then, in my opinion, he's going to be a good card to have next season for under 23 and Challenger. Last but not least, Patrick Bamford. £2 his card. He, for me, what more can I say? He misses more chances than he scores. He needs 6 chances to score one, and he'll score the hardest chance out of the chances he gets. He's so frustrating. However, I'm still of the belief in the championship. He's a quality player for that level. He's one of those players who's not good enough for the Premier League, but he's top championship level for the experience and everything he brings. But in terms of finishing, he wouldn't be in my conference side. I would never bank on him. He could be 1-on-1 or he could just be clean three with no goalie, and I'd still be convinced that he'd miss. He's that sort of player, but as a backup, just in case Joseph, because he's young, is struggling, then if they don't go and sign someone, then Bamford will get game time. So I've bought one just in case, and we'll see how that goes. So that's my opinion on Leeds United and their players. For me, there's lots of pluses with a lot of their players purely because of the reasons I've given at the very beginning. There is no doubt in my mind Leeds go up this season. If they don't, there's going to be massive repercussions. And like I said, the 49ers are shrewd businessmen. They know they've got to get this club back where it belongs. Red Bull have recently bought a stake in the club. They've put it down as some sort of sponsorship, which is the biggest in championship history. Financially, there's no club that can compete with Leeds United in the championship at this moment in time. So everything is with them to get promoted this season. So if any of those players take your fancy, obviously, please do your research. I'm just giving my advice and my opinion on just being a massive Leeds United fan, and I hope this helps in some way. If you support a club and you've got players you want to recommend, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And best of luck with your teams next season, guys. Cheers.